Hello and welcome to this online class. After a long time, I'm making video because my health was not supporting to make video, and due to certain circumstances, I was not able to make video and provide you online material. But repeatedly I was giving a PDF. So I'm sure that you're familiar with the chapter by reading the PDF that was provided, and now when you watch the video, you will be able to understand thoroughly. So in this video, we shall mainly discuss about population dynamics. What is population dynamics? Population in the sense, we say that the number of people they are living in a place in a particular time. Dynamics means change. It does not remain the same as it is. It keeps on changing. So how it keeps changing and what is the reason behind this and what are the factors behind this to have the change of the population? Why doesn't it remain the same as it is? So those things we will be discussing. So you can see in the introduction, the word population signifies the number of people inhabiting or living in a specific area at a particular time. So the number of people who are living and inhabiting in a specific area or in a specific region at a particular time, that is population. So this population is not static. Static means it is not the same. It keeps on changing. It is ever changing and dynamic. Dynamic in the sense synonyms of changing. The number of people do not remain the same. Population dynamics deal with the study of how and why populations change in size and structure over time. So the population dynamics, the topics deal with the study of how and why the population change takes place in size and in structure over time. There are various reasons behind this. You could see the diagram over that majority part of the world, the majority of the population are residing in China, India, and there are some top 10 countries like US, Indonesia, Brazil, Pakistan, Nigeria, Bangladesh, Russia, Mexico. All these things are the countries which number of people are staying due to the certain factor, due to the availability of the good resources, or maybe because of the conducive weather. All the factors we will be studying. So remember that population is dealing with the study of how and why there is change in time, over time. Now let us compare and see the distribution of population in the world. How it is distributed when we see and compare the continents like Asia, Africa, Europe, America, North America, Latin America, how the change of the population is there, how difference is there. You could see the statistics below show the distribution of global population of us 2018. So this survey was done in 2018, now it is 2021. So there will be again a lot of change and differences will be there. In 2018, about 59.5% of global population was living in Asia. So 2018, you could imagine that 59.5, that means almost 60% of the global population alone were living in Asia. Asia is the continent where the countries which are having most population, like India also comes under Asia, then China also coming under Asia, as well as Indonesia, Bangladesh, Russia, Pakistan. These are the countries which are having too much population. So the world's population is continuously rising and has nearly tripled since 1950. So we got independence, that is 1947, but from 1950 the population, when we compare from 2020 or 2018, the research which is carried out, it has abrupt and a lot of change that has been there. You could see the diagram that is given continental wise. In Asia alone, 60% of the population is residing, then Africa 17%, and in Europe that is 10%, and in Latin America and Caribbean 9%, that is 8.5. Latin America and Caribbean area means the central part of North America and South America, where Mexico is there, where Caribbean Sea is present. Then we have North America, around 5% of the global population, and Oceania is that where the islands are there, where the archipelagos are there. In that areas, 0.5% people are living. Moving towards next, in 2015, the total population was 7.35 billion people. 2015, the total population was 7.35 billion people. Mainly due to the rapid growth of developing countries, the human population will rise, continue to rise and continue to grow in the coming decades, and is expected to exceed approximately 11.2 billion by 2100, according to a global population forecast by the United Nations. So, seeing the population of 2018 and comparing the population of 1950, and now it is presently comparing 2021. So, United Nations have predicted and expected that it would rise 11.2 billion in 2100. That means after 50 years, after 78 years, it would rise 11.2 billion. Now it is 7.35 billion. But due to some reasons, recently because of the pandemic, COVID-19, the population will have changed. When we compare those things, this research was according to the flow of the growth of population of 2015 and 2019. So, what is the reason behind this, that the population is increasing, the global population is increasing? Main reason is due to medical advances, medical improvement. The doctors, nurses, and so many hospitals have been constructed and providing better facilities. Then better living conditions. The living conditions, people are educated, they are literate, they have standardized their living style, luxurious conditions they have standardized. Because of that, the better, or people are having more and more lifespan, because of they are having a lot of luxurious things to protect themselves medically as well. Then the increase of agricultural productivity. So size of the earth or size of the planet is not increasing, it is increasing population. But due to the technical advance or recent techniques, the hybrid seeds are being grown, and in an area where 100 sacks of yielding were getting, now they are getting triple yielding. So that is how it has increased the agricultural productivity. So now let's see what are the factors affecting this population, bringing change. So we have discussed that the population of Earth planet is constantly increasing, and this can have many effects on the environment and economic of the world. So as it is increasing, population is increasing, it will have many effects on the resources that is present on the earth, as well as the food that has to be provided and feeding has to be done, as well as to the environment, the place for the living. For example, as the world population rises, the pressure mounts on agriculture. So the more people are increasing, the pressure on agriculture also will be there, because the area is not increasing, because we have to increase the productivity, yielding. It is having the pressure mounts on the agriculture sector to feed the millions of increased people. That is a major problem that is increasing. So there are several factors affect the size of the population in the world. Mainly three factors which affect the size of the population of the world, in the world. The first one is fertility rate or birth rate. Fertility rate or birth rate. Second one is death rate, or it is also known as mortality rate. And third one is due to the immigration and emigration. So these are the three factors which keeps on moving the statics of the population. So let us discuss one by one what all these things are. How does it happen? How does it grow the population? How does it bring the change in population? For fertility rate or birth rate, the factor that affects the growth of population in the biggest way is the fertility rate or birth rate. So the fertility rate is typically measured by the number of children per woman, one woman of the childbearing age. So it is measured according to the one woman childbearing age. If one woman is there, husband and wife two, and if the children are more than two, it will obviously increase. There are two, husband and wife, and the children are 3, 4, it will obviously increase. If it is reduced or the rule is being made, then it will be having the proportional of the population. Then you could say if the fertility rate is larger than 2, the population should rise. That means if it is more than 2 children, it is predicted that it will be rising. So there was a rule in India as well. The slogans were spreading like Hum do hamare do. That is how the formula was implemented by the government to reduce the population, and it is now understood by many educated people to reduce these population numbers. That's still because of the remote areas, the uneducated people, illiterate people, what happens, it keeps on changing. But near end time, it is having impact on the population decrease. Then, as there are more children than their parents, so their parents are 2 and it will be having more children, obviously the population will be rising. On the other hand, if ratio is below 2, 2 parents are there, means mother and father or wife and husband, it is below 2, the population of the region may destined for a decline, so it may reduce. Then generally birth rate refers to the number of live births per 1,000 persons in given geographical area per year. So how it is estimated, and this is the definition of birth rate. Per 1,000 persons, live births, how many births are being taking place? Per 1,000 persons, if it is more than that, it is increasing. If it is less than that, it is controlled, it is decreasing. If it is proportional, then it is having the proportional of the population rate. Then birth rate. Then we have mortality rate. More people are dying because of the certain reason. Because of this COVID-19, you could have experience seen that more people have died. So it will be having impact on population. It will be having a change in population, and when there will be a census to count, this was the in India 2021 was the census to count. Then now if it is carried this survey, there will be a lot of difference in population. So let us discuss what is mortality rate or death rate. A key factor affecting the growth of the population is death or mortality rate. Just as the birth new people increases the population size, death decreases it. So if it is having more birth rate, it will increase. If it is having more death rate, it will decrease. So it has to be balanced because of due to the medical advances or the better living conditions, keeping the diet, eating healthy food can balance it. Then the factors that affect the mortality rate include the availability of quality health care and lifestyle habits. So mainly the death rate or mortality rate will depend on the availability of the health care, medical advances, or the hospitals, how they are treating, how the doctors are looking after the health benefits. Second one is lifestyle, how you are living, what kind of food the people are eating, that depends upon the death rate. If more poisonized food is being consumed, or these days what happens, in every food some chemical things are added, so lifespan of the people have reduced. So that depends upon the lifestyle habits. For example, whether they smoke or do physical exercise regularly. So this two example is there, the people who are smoking as well as not doing any physical exercises, not playing regularly, you are giving your body more rest. What happens? The span of your life or days will be reduced. Death rate refers to the number of deaths per 1,000 people in given geographical area per year. So death rate counts 1,000 people per year. In 1,000 people, how many people expired? So that is how death rate is calculated. Third factor that is affecting the population is that immigration and emigration. Immigrations, what happens, people come and stay in our place. Emigrations, we go to other places and stay. This happens because of the better living and job facilities. People are preferring to go abroad and standardize the living style. Cross-border migration is the act of people moving from one country to another. It affects the population size of both the host and the destination countries. Emigration means to move out of a particular place. So immigration and emigrations will affect both. It may increase one country's population, or it may decrease another populations. Or if the people are moving towards certain countries, that will increase the population, and from where people have moved may decrease the population. Now preferably people are preferring to settle down permanently in other countries and not returning back to their original destinations. So that's how the population change is being seen. So what is emigration means? When we move from a particular place to another place. Emigration is caused by the number of factors such as war, education, seeking new jobs, or joining one's family. So maybe war took place, we need to leave the place, have to run away from the place. So that happens, thousands of people move. It was happening previously before the independence, when the World War was taking place. So those time people were suffering like anything. Education, because of better educations. In your locality, the education system is not good. People go out for studies, seeking new jobs. That means if the people are getting better job or better salary package, people move from one place to another place, and then joining one's family maybe. So people join one's family, some village to cities if they are migrated. Slowly the family life also changes. When a person immigrates from a country, its population shrinks. So from immigration, that means a person leaving from a place, it shrinks, the population is declining, it's becoming less. When someone moves to a country from another place, it is called immigration. Whether or not a person is allowed to immigrate is controlled by the country that will host this person. So because of that, there is a system of passport and visa. So you cannot freely move to another country, right? So there is proper scrutinizations as well as proper reason for what reason moving, and if the country is allowing, then it will be permitted to stay in other countries. Population change is a change in the number of people during a specific time. So population change or population dynamics is the change of number of people during a specific time. As discussed, this change occurs due to births, deaths and migration of people. The difference between the birth rate and death rate of country is called the natural growth rate of the country. So remember that, what do you understand by the natural growth rate of the country? That means the difference between birth rate and death rate. If birth rate is more and death rate is less, obviously it will be increasing the population. If in contrary to that, if it is opposite of that, if death rate is more and birth rate is less, it will decrease the population. So they will be having the population change. There are two terms you need to understand: immigration and emigration. Immigration means to move out of a particular place. It is not of a country within the domestic areas. From a village to cities, people move for better job, education and for better lifestyle. That immigration means people prefer to move from a country to another country. Like from India to, people move Canada, they move to America, they move to Australia, New Zealand, different countries. That is immigration. So that should not be having any sort of confusion for this. So thank you for watching this video so patiently. I'll be regularly making the videos now and updating you with this chapter. Hope you'll cooperate. Don't worry about, don't be rushed about the completing of this chapter, because your exam will be in the month of August, maybe. So in July we will not be having exams according to the date that is given. It will be having maybe in August. So hoping we will be having 3 chapters and that we are going to complete soon. Thank you so much. Have a nice day. I remain.